All right, welcome back to Boulevard Baptist's Youth Speaks. We were back from hiatus, we're well rested and all these lovely stuff, Sleep. Okay, good. That's all nice. That's all nice. So, being that this is September now, and a couple of us are going back to school and starting new schools, new year groups, and stuff. I thought the video should somewhat reflect what we're about to go into. For those of us who are interested, you probably see the title, so it's out there. Christian dating and what to do. I'm Stefan Allen.
I'm Keith Walker.
And I'm Paul and Malcolm.
Yeah, so we'll be reacting to the video here and hopefully giving our thoughts and you get something from it. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Woo! Yeah.
For every Christian that has a desire to be married, I'm sure the thought of dating has crossed their mind. It must be nice to have someone you love, and for that person to love you back, and to have the opportunity to live life with them, to go out, have some coffee, maybe watch a movie or learn something new together. Dating could be a very good thing. In it, you can potentially find your future spouse, and at the same time, dating can be a harmful and potentially destructive thing if done incorrectly. The Christian who
Funny thing, the first thing I'm like, the animation,
It's cute.
stick together.
It's cute. It's cute.
Yeah, we start off good though,
Yeah.
Thinking about marriage in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm all about the good and the harm,
Yeah.
Definitely want to dissect some of those things for sure.
Got that.
enters into a dating relationship with someone must be cautious as they move their relationship forward. And before I continue, I do want to mention that dating does look different for a lot of people. But regardless of the relationship, these 4 guidelines should be applied to everyone if they want to date God's way. So let's get started. Guideline number 1, set up physical boundaries. Song of Songs, chapter 8, verse 4. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases. These
what do you think that even means?
Wow, funny enough, I read that recently, and from what I got from it, I think it's like don't start putting yourself in a frame of mind to want to give your heart to somebody before the time. You get me? Because if you don't time that properly, like the repercussions, bro. You give your heart to somebody that's not even the correct person, or they don't have the right character to receive it, or they don't even know how to take love, much less. So, you give them your heart and things because you get education or you get exposed to it early and they never get exposed and mash up.
Yeah, and it actually reminds me of I think it's Bob Marley said, so there's no evil, the worst thing a man can do than awaken a woman's love. And then reciprocate her without wanting or and it said that it reminds me of that, and then it kind of serious because why you go stir up somebody, why you go convince somebody.
So somebody else's love.
Yeah. And then you have no intention of reciprocating it or even marrying the person and making them honest individual. So that kind of evil still.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm wondering why people just date for fun.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how that works.
It hurts, promise. It hurts like being on the receiving end when they're the ones like, want to have fun with the person, and it hurts the other person when you're doing it to them. But you're not feeling because it's not affecting you.
They're doing it out of loneliness still.
Yeah?
They are doing it out of loneliness. Some people will do anything when they're desperate.
Yeah, so sad.
It is facts though, and this verse from Song of Songs. Feel attacked. I feel a lot of girls younger our age, we do tend to sit down and fantasize about being in love, getting married.
Yeah.
We do get really hyper fixated on it, and I think that itself kind of awakens something in us that shouldn't be awakened at that type of age. Not saying that you can't think about it once in a while, but when you really put focus and daydream and say you're manifesting and all those things, you're really just and you're not ready. You're setting up yourself for emotional trauma. You're setting up yourself emotional damage. And you're setting up yourself for, disappointment. That kind of rough. So this verse kind of jerked me up a little bit.
It's a truce.
Tugging off the shirt.
Set up physical boundaries. Song of Songs, chapter 8, verse 4. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases. These words were spoken by the lover of King Solomon. This woman was known as the Shulamite, and her and King Solomon were madly in love with each other, and they shared passionate and intense affection. And in her love, she said to the people, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases. And what she was saying here is that timing must be considered when it comes to romance. Look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3. For this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you should abstain from sexual immorality. You see, when it comes to the Bible, any sexual act that is outside the context of marriage is sexual immorality. And this passage tells us that it's God's will for us to abstain or stay away from sexual immorality. And fornication, or in other words, sex outside of marriage, is sexual immorality. So if you're dating, please note that you must do everything in your power to keep your relationship holy and undefiled before God. And this can be difficult, because if you really love your boyfriend or girlfriend, you'll want to be close. And if you're not careful,
I find that very funny, but not in a hilarious way, but more like I keep seeing a lot of TikTokers now, not necessarily Jamaican TikTokers, but American Christian TikTokers that are dating and stuff like that, and they're saying that they have to find different ways to plan dates that doesn't like stir up that physical aspect. So their dates can't be too private. So like sometimes they purposely have to find things to the outside in the public. They don't, like how some people, like they're saying, oh, if like, let's say it's long distance, even if the person is flying over, they're staying at a hotel by themselves, they're staying at their house, like people are very separate. So I admire that, because a lot of people are not going to have that much discipline when it comes to keeping their relationship holy and undefiled.
And you never acknowledge your weaknesses, It's super important, because sometimes we go into a relationship thinking, yeah man, in general, roll out man, you see me? So you can't do anything and go anywhere, you see me, I'll go for
life from hell.
Yes, and deception. You're deceiving yourself, because trust me, see, once you see that person, you're strongly, you're madly in love with them, you're attracted to them. Yeah man, that boundary thing they get, that shit. Yeah man.
Shall the wall you.
Yeah man, bothers them, lift up.
Are you a whole she?
Well, yeah. If we want to get all technical about it.
Yeah. So
and kind of weird, especially them said any act itself, because some people just believe, so just smurf it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing I was saying.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
there's
weird.
other things.
Because everything where you can actually classify as being something sexual.
Yes, any connection certain way. Probably hugging is fine.
Well, certain hugging.
But it depends on the situation, though.
Yeah.
Depends on the situation.
Get technical.
Yeah.
You stress out the people.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you have some people that like really take this to heart, and they're really paranoid and scared about it. Like, it's just like, oh my God, if we do this, it's judgment and hellfire and death and well, not death, but it's just.
I think it's with intention.
I think we definitely need to find a way to really define those things and not leave it to the imagination, because then people will think this itself is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
It just some people take it to extremes, and then that's where you get confused with the whole Christian dating, and that's why people don't like to talk about the topic. That's why people don't like to indulge. That's why people don't share with their friends and like that community around it. Because so some people, they just take it to extremes, and then everything becomes taboo.
Right. True.
Right.
I think we can use probably as a guideline. Maybe how we deal with family. Kind of weird to say, dealing with family. But just like how the type of love and appreciation you have for like your sister or your mom or your aunt or whatever the case is, that level of connection we have can be the foundation for you to start off. Of course, of course, as friends, of course. And if any other interaction from there, you use that as a guideline to say, I don't go this far or whatever this is. And of course, it's a different type of love, because that is romantic between somebody with eventually want to marry and, start a family. But maybe you can use this as a guideline to be like, I can go this far and no more, and then when you're doing things, you're doing with certain levels of intentions, since start from the night.
Right.
So if you hug her normal, and in your head, you're not just hug her.
Yeah.
And, so that itself can be a problem. So it's just intention. I'm not saying that the thought now coming in your mind, because, as a man, take a flash to your brain like a split second, but just the full on intention behind it, I think.
As well as communication.
Yeah.
Most couples communicate exactly what the boundaries are, what they can manage, what they can't manage, and then they go from there. So once you know what's going on in each other's head, I think it's better to maneuver around how you interact with each other.
Yeah, true. Makes sense.
A touch can turn into an embrace, and that embrace can lead to you and your partner committing sexual immorality, which is the very thing God wants you to run away from. So what are you allowed to do? Should you be allowed to hug, hold hands, kiss? Are you allowed to be alone together in your car? Consider Romans chapter 13, verse 14. But put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill its lusts. This passage tells us to get rid of anything in our lives that makes it easier for us to sin. Look, I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, because every dating relationship is different, with their own unique strengths and struggles. But what I will tell you is that it would be wise and advantageous for you and your future marriage if you keep yourselves untainted from the guilt and shame that comes with embracing sin. So don't position yourselves in a place that makes it easier for you to sin. Don't awaken love until it pleases, and it pleases most when you do things God's way and in God's time. Guideline number 2, check their pace. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with lawlessness? And what communion has light with darkness?
Yeah, man, that one there rough.
Yeah.
That one there way rough, because it's not like you have a let's say a handful of people. You only have a handful of people where fully baptized and Christians. So you can probably like that girl. I have a conversation with her. Half the time is people, maybe they do believe in God, because Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Everybody know about that, because them granny said in that church.
Right.
But the people are actually never, made a decision and touch the water and stuff. Not saying that them, set apart, so we just stay far from them. But I can understand what this is saying, but it kind of worries us. Because when you look on the options we have available, you like who you like. So it's not like you have to be only set to only believers. You can see unbeliever one time where look perfectly normal, quiet, then read, and then have all of the aspects to, everything they want in a wife. And she have all of the values of a wife, but just not baptized. How that works.
Yeah, and then there are times, and the same thing is, because Christianity, being a Christian, there's a process to it. You have people who have made a decision, are Christians, but their character is not suitable for a relationship, even with the title. So it's like, it's a rough thing for real. And I think what's important is really scanning the person. If this person is willing to, learn about it or whatever the case may be, you can start with the friendship, of course. You have to start there. And if the friendship, benefits her to finding Jesus and getting a relationship and learning more as to how to go about it, I think that would be that's a whole process in itself. But then, people always warn about missionary dating. Try to
date and then convert.
Date to convert and all that stuff. Yeah. But I think it's important to at least be an influence. You get me? So if you can be the person you're supposed to be in Christ and stuff like that, and it influences them by chance, right? Because they're not going to know when it's going to happen. And if you're able to do that and it happens and it works out, that's great. But if their mindset is far from what you depend, then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I have to think about it in terms of were you called to do that?
Yeah.
Because some people, they always say you date somebody just to build them up for somebody else, protect them from perfect. You're like a factory. It infringe on the whole. You don't really want to give yourself to nobody because I feel like that's a little bit of end
Yeah, it
game.
must be the bad situation.
But if God already put you in one position to like go and talk to this person, you talk to them and you have a little bit of feelings, and then you find out that through the relationship God used you to change her or change him, and maybe that was your purpose. But if it wasn't your purpose to begin with, then you go take it up. And obviously never do it.
Yeah.
And just your fault at that point, and you can't really blame nobody else.
I know, it just came to my mind. The thing is, sometimes you talk to other people who are not necessarily believers and you catch feelings for them. There's a general duty we have as Christians to, be there and help and contribute and make your light shine and so on and so forth. And we don't know, and it's something you're going to encounter all the time. So I don't think it's going to be like a one-off situation where one person you're going to have feelings for when you minister to them. It's going to be a situation you might have feelings for other people. So that goes back to a general problem that's just there. So, I mean, you really have to just keep in mind that, okay, you're not dating to convert, but you're doing your duty as a Christian.
Yeah.
It's not even just dating, though. Going back to going out and, making your light shine. Even if you take it out of the dating context, please surround yourself with your friends, your co-workers, who you are around. You should just naturally want to be that type of influence. Don't throw down God's word down people's throat now, but as in let your life itself be an example for them come to you and be like, so what kind of God you serve and why? Like stuff like that will get people interested.
Facts.
The same way how if you do have this connection with someone who's not in the church like that or not baptized as yet or anything like that, but then they see how you live your life different from the feelings that they may or may not have for you, but they may have a connection, and everything does serve a purpose. Every connection serves a purpose, not just for them, just for you. So even what you said about this notion that we have in society today, where we kind of think that some people are factories, and where we think that we're made to like build other people for, other people to enjoy or to get blessings from. That person that thinks they're a factory also has to understand, especially if they are Christians, sometimes you do have a certain assignment on your life to care and love and be that type of example that person probably never had before. So you are probably the first young Christian to actually love your life, enjoy your life, do it in a wholesome way, actually try to walk and live by the word, and it's not something that's heavily, kind of restrictive, kind of uncomfortable. It's like it comes naturally to you. You love praising God, you love reading your word, stuff like that. You exposing that to them will, give them a different perspective, lead them to the word, but it also gives you practices for you cementing yourself as a Christian.
Still teaches you new things.
Still teaches you new things. So it's not necessarily that you're just a factory, but with each person that you fix or each person that you kind of fix and send back out, you're also getting some sort of refinement with yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
So I implement it like that sometimes.
And just to put one more thought on it with the whole relationship thing, you have to know who is leading who. The whole unevenly yoke thing, because you could be in a situation like, yeah man, care about church, this and that. But then you realize who influence who more. She probably influence you more than when you influence her. And then you realize you start fall off the ball. And then you try to understand why am I meant to do all these different things and why she or whatever the case is. And then you're probably wondering, nah, she has more influence. And instead of you doing the work you're supposed to be doing, you're probably trying, but then you're probably not working. Because not everybody have a personality where can actually take up space, per se, and kind of dominate the space. But like, yes, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to do. Because as they said, you're basically the product of the 5 closest people to you. So you share slangs, you share interests, and even if you didn't listen to this type of song or music before,
you find yourself out with another person.
Exactly. Because it's either you hear it in your ears constantly or they introduced it to you. So the influence also have a big part.
And just a quick thing to add to that is also, even if you are the strongest one, there's still a hindrance. So it's almost like, being yoked, because it's a farm matter where 2 calves are put together and you have to move and stuff like that. And the weaker one pulls by the hinders the stronger one. So it's almost like, you get injured somewhere and if they're walking with a limp. So I feel like that's why Paul is telling us to avoid being yoked unbelievers, because it's definitely going to hinder you as a person.
Yeah, progress as a Christian. More like
Now, this yoke is not an egg yoke. This yoke is a piece of wood that connects two oxen so that both of them can carry a load. Because both oxen are connected, it's important that both be about the same size and have similar levels of strength. Because if one ox is weaker than the other, the load they pull won't be able to move forward. Actually, they'll go around in circles as opposed to successfully carrying the weight that they were supposed to. Now, we can draw many truths from this passage. For one, God says we as believers shouldn't be unequally yoked or connected with unbelievers. So in the context of dating, Christians should not be dating or romantically connected with people who aren't Christian. Why? Because
believe that.
Thoughts?
I am going to respectfully disagree with this nice man's video on that point. Because, like I said, God is going to find different ways for different people to bring him into the fold. So there may be a girl out there, hopefully not, I don't know, but there may be a girl out there that probably don't know nothing about God. But that could be your wife.
Yeah, there have been cases like that.
Yeah.
That could legit be your wife, and it's just a case where it's more that if you feel it and you sense it as a Christian, that's when you lean into God more. That's when you pray more. That's when you draw for the Bible more. Like God guide me as to exactly how you want this to play out for your glory when you feel it. So I don't fully agree with this, but I understand what he's saying.
I would say this is just let's say a surface level. Don't do this, just prevention of the type of thing. Because if you probably go encourage him and try it, fight the good fight and push through, you probably have buck up on more problems where you can't manage. So I guess this is just probably like, just to be safe, if you're not 200, you just stay far from this. Because if you look at stories like, we talk about Paul, and they murdered Christian left, right, and center still, it was a bad man. So, and in the end, exactly, in the end, his purpose, and I think, God shaping him and turning him into what he's supposed to be. Into what he was supposed to be from the very beginning.
I feel like that message right there kind of creates the separation between the Christian and the non-Christian, the saved and the not saved. And it kind of like it in modern times in our society, whether it's abroad or here, sometimes the way how people explain Christianity makes it sound like an exclusive club. And then makes it sound like there's something extremely important that you have to do for you to get into this club. And I feel like that's when people put a heavy weight on baptism and giving your life when it really shouldn't be something heavy or dramatic. It's very important. But then it's simple. It's simple because it's simple, and it's just something that you have to just decide and understand for yourself, but then don't feel pressured into doing it for you to then be accepted into this club. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of video. But,
this type of content right here, with the way how they word it, it makes people kind of, second guess, like, oh, okay, so I shouldn't be interested in a Christian then. If I see a cute Christian guy and I'm not a Christian, let me just date. Or if a Christian guy sees a non-Christian girl and she cute, or just someone that you think you can connect to, just because they're not okay, I'm gonna date. And then you can walk away from your wife or your husband.
Yeah. And the whole unequally yoked thing, kind of a hot take. Kind of spicy. Even being two Christians, they can have
Say it again.
Say
that part. Say it again.
Even two Christians can fully be unequally yoked.
That's a word.
Because even if I'm here and I'm probably a couple steps in my walk based on my progress, and then you have somebody else where it's not as far as you shouldn't reach levels, it's still not an unbalance. It's still not a balance, because as it says before, equal strength, size and thing, health and these different things. It could be that you are a strong Christian female, a strong Christian man, but you are fighting your generational curses and you're drained. You have one bag of problems with you. I'm in a different stage where me probably deal with all that already. And I'm out here just being like, alright, this is my minister phase. Like, I'm out here evangelizing, and this is where I am. I'm delivering people XYZ. Meanwhile, you're still at stage one. Nothing is wrong with being at stage one because you start and God work on everybody in one time. But even in a Christian relationship, it can be unequally yoked.
Exactly.
So it's kind of weird.
You have people that, like me, I connect to God through music, through praise and worship. I don't say I have someone who just can't take the music thing.
True.
And they don't sit down and read in the Bible and write every day. And I'm not saying that's not something that we can emulate and learn from each other, but you have some people where it really just does not click. And I don't want to be in my living room 2 a.m. music blasting at me place in the room, and you may come to turn that down. I'm gonna throw the Bible at you. We're gonna have a so to avoid, you really have to be
the sword.
the sword.
Chop him up. I think it also, just about this final point, it boils down to discernment. You really have to just read the situation, as well as, if you can't read the situation, just seek the Lord and let Him give you the clarification. And wait on the clarification. Because sometimes, you be silent, but I have to just wait and watch.
Because one person will want to follow God and the other won't, which will lead to one of two things. Either the Christian will be hindered in the relationship as they pursue God, or it will lead to compromise. Another point I'd like to add is to consider this passage even if both the boyfriend and girlfriend are Christian. You see, some people call themselves Christian.
Why I feel like we've watched this before.
Yeah,
I keep stuffing it too, and I think we should just let it play for a bit and stop talking about the mad video.
How do you work for you?
People call themselves Christian, but they aren't really that serious, or they lack a real relationship with God. And these kinds of Christians can be more.
We got message from our non-sponsor.
They're non-sponsors.
Yeah, these ads are crazy.
Of a weight or a hindrance in a romantic relationship, and can possibly lead to being unequally yoked, spiritually speaking. And this would look like one person in the relationship pursuing God and taking steps to move forward in their faith, while the other one is indifferent or doesn't make it a goal to grow further. So when you're dating, I would encourage you to pay attention to both of your paces when it comes to following God. Are you moving in a godly direction that you both want at a pace that you both desire? Guideline number 3, live life, not fantasy. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verses 3-4. You therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No one engaged in warfare entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who enlisted him as a soldier. For people who think the Christian life is always full of happy smiles and warm hugs, you're wrong. The Bible describes the Christian walk as being likened to war, with its fair share of struggles, hardships, casualties, and losses. So as you're dating, you must remember that real life can be difficult. And I think sometimes when people date, people like escaping reality, and they go to the movie theater and they go on these expensive dates at fancy restaurants and they go to amusement parks, and that's fine and all. But dating should also include living real life together. Anyone can be in a good mood when you're doing fun hikes and staring at each other's eyes at a candlelit dinner in a restaurant. But how does your partner respond when there's bills to pay, money to manage, or rooms to clean? And how about if they have a family to take care of and responsibilities to prioritize? Now, I'm not saying that those fancy nights out are wrong. No, date nights are good and can promote communication and intimacy. But real life doesn't look like that every day. Life goes on, and it requires a lot of hard work, conflict management, effective communication, and acts of service that can be inconvenient at the moment. So for some dates, try making a meal, or try doing your homework together, or clean, or do laundry. The idea is to look at your schedule and see what you regularly do, and then do those things together so you can see what living life looks like with them at your side. Guideline number 4.
When I go to the other guideline here, you see, when he talks about how Christian life really is, I remember sometimes when we link up for practice, and like everybody's not in the mood, and it's not until we talk about everything that it clicks, we're all like, oh whole spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
We're stressing out for the whole week and we're not talking to each other not like that. I will come for practice. Like, what me tea, all this happened, like, you listen to us, and then all those clips are like spiritual warfare. It's a real thing. And I think as a Christian, like, we have to see it from both things. It's not just life itself. The life hard. Life as a young person hard, but then as a young Christian, that itself is just double rough. So even so at times you can't use your relationship as an escape. And I feel like that's where the equally you tends to really play a really important role, where your person, your partner also has to understand that life is going to hit us, but we can't let life mother us. We need to work together against real life, against spiritual warfare, and I feel that's where the equally does play a big role, and that's where you actually really have to like connect.
Yeah, and the section about the normal things, the mundane things, the simple things like bills, laundry, what show are you gonna watch, which movie we're gonna
how they clean, how they keep
exactly, how the food tastes, who cook. And how that schedule will work out. Even these things are very important, because as much as he said before, the words. It's not just the fancy dinner dates, the expensive tours, whatever, because anybody can be happy. Anybody can be happy being at Disneyland. The happiest place on earth. But it takes a lot of strength, and it takes willpower, it takes the Lord to actually push you the normal everyday life things with, the reality of it. Because, a lot of people even think about marriage and thinking, it's this beautiful thing, and it's nice,
Yeah.
But,
however, disclaimer.
War, fam.
Too many people, especially females right now, when they think of marriage, they think of the wedding. They leave the wedding alone. The wedding is just one big bill and one big day. Not saying that you must put on your dress, have fun with your friends and family, and thank God and love your man. That's different. But when it's done, when you have to take off the dress, you still have to keep on the ring. That's when life starts. Marriage is not the wedding. The wedding is the least of your worries. It's living the rest of your life with the man. Providing and caring for the man, allowing the man to lead you, following up with him, backing him up every step of the way. That is marriage, not the dress, not the bridesmaids, not the flower. No, leave the wedding alone. Sorry, alright, I'm done now.
That was a side rant just now.
Really?
What is actually true is very, very true, because oftentimes we get caught up in the fun and the niceness and all that stuff.
One day.
But then when it burns out, when everything go down, everybody gone and
exactly.
You're
stuck with him.
Silence.
You're stuck with her.
I wish you would say stuck. I shouldn't say stuck.
No, but
it's negative.
so
now it's just you two to learn to continue life together.
Yeah. For sure.
I guess the starting part of that is just the dating. I don't even know why they call it dating. Shouldn't it be courting?
Yeah, originally is.
I feel like that itself is another episode, because we need
the differentiation between
the Bible definition along with the dictionary definition, and then we kind of merge it together to get a proper understanding.
Yeah, man, stay tuned. We're doing a whole series on relationships and these things. Spicy.
Scotch bonnet.
12 verse 30. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. This is the first commandment. This thought is one that every Christian must always have at the forefront of their mind, and it's, I must love God more than everyone and everything, and that includes my significant other. Here's the thing. Love looks very different for everyone. People are unique. Therefore, the love relationships that they share with others will also be unique. So while I can give you guidelines on what you can do, God must lead your relationship, not me. If you're dating now, you should be praying more and reading the Bible more to see if this person that you're seeing is someone that God wants for you. Look, you need God in your relationship. You need His help, His leading, His wisdom, His encouragement, and His support. God is the God of love, And if you aren't connected to Him, you won't be able to love your partner the way that He wants you to. It's God and His Word that will correct you. And He may actually bring you to a place where you realize that you need to break up. So remember, God is your God and the King of your life. If He tells you to love, then love. If He tells you to serve, serve. And if He tells you to let go, then let go. Either way, love God more and follow Him as He leads you according to His Spirit and His Word. So, big topic, Christian dating. So whether you're dating now or have plans to date in the future, remember these 4 guidelines. Guideline number 1, set up physical boundaries. Guideline number 2, check their pace, yours and your partner's. Guideline number 3, live life, not fantasy. And guideline number 4, love God more than your partner.
Yeah.
These videos are really good videos. I'm not lying. They kind of trigger me in a little part when he explain himself. So big up him. But when it comes to Christian dating, I think the only thing that I want people to take away from this video, you have to know yourself. Set your boundaries. You have to understand where you are with God. You have to be realistic about it. But you also have to have a certain connection with God. If you and God are not solid, don't look to add somebody to the mix. Because obviously Christians, you're dating towards marriage. It's you and somebody becoming one with God. It's the 3 of you in this relationship for the rest of your life, hopefully. If you don't know yourself when it comes to God, or you just don't know yourself, period, leave the man alone, leave the woman alone. It goes back to the Bob Marley quote that you were saying that you should like the passage from Song of Songs. Don't awaken love. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Yeah. If you're lonely, talk to God. He's always there. He's here right now because we're 2 or 3 together. He's here. But also just know yourself. If you don't know yourself, you can't set your boundaries. You can't check your own pace. You can't be realistic. And you're going to want to love your partner more than yourself or God because you're just not ready. So be ready, please. That's it.
Yeah.
I would definitely add to emphasize more on love God more than a partner, because oftentimes we make the mistake to make our partner God.
I know.
Put our right on that pedestal or put him on that pedestal, however you go about it, and it's like everything they have to be the solution to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, we need food. Go to the partner.
Yeah.
They want food there.
I'm hungry.
Not a job, it can't work out. It's not because they don't want the job, whatever the case is, but for whatever reason they lose the job. So, at that point then you vex the person, you put them on side and treat them bad, etc., and then how you feel towards yourself gets even worse and all that. So important to love God more than your partner. It's so important to trust God more than your partner. And it's so important for you to just give everything to God more than your partner, because God not gonna let you down. You get me? And sometimes your partner will let you down. That's why He calls us to forgive. Mm-hmm. And without forgiveness, our relationship can't thrive. Mm-hmm. So, isn't it? God gives you literally everything that God tells you to do is supposed to be applied to your partner in terms of forgiveness, in terms of patience, in terms of steadfastness. Everything He does for you before you even got into a relationship. He had to forgive you so many times. He had to give you grace so many times. He had to watch you grow and learn so many times. He had to be patient with you, and He never left nor forsake you. So all that is so important, and I love the point where you said that without loving God, you're gonna have a hard time to love your partner too, because everything that God does to us is love, and if we can't do that for the partner, judgment.
Yeah. Honestly, that's why I'm thinking about it. We need that 1 Corinthians though, because it also says if you don't know God, then you can't love your partner. Because if you don't know that, the pastor will tell you what love is. And if you're not abiding by what it is and putting it forward, and you're not actually doing love. Yeah. You're just doing something selfish. And if you actually put everything upon the partner to do, if you want every form of your happiness to come from the partner, every form of security to come from the partner, every form of every single thing we need is from them, you're eventually going to hate them.
Yeah, man. No,
because not God's family.
Yeah, no human is designed for that.
When I reach levels to provide every single one of your needs,
right,
and provide them. When I cross the line, being the husband,
you provide for the family. You do what you can,
and we show up and thing, and being led by God.
I know that.
I don't really me get it still. I gotta give me it and say, oh, give this to you then for me. And I say, I'm a boss. Me be the representative, pass on everything. And from with that type of relationship, of course, you can provide everything for your family. But from the levels of depending on them solely for everything, you're gonna hate them. You're gonna hate them because, and then you're gonna probably hate yourself. Because you're like, why am I here? Because this person now make me happy. Now do this, now do that, she now do, she now do that, she now get it. And the area means maybe there's need for life and God. Maybe the need for take yourself from out of, this idolatry. Because they probably don't worship them, put them on a higher place, but if you go to them for every single thing, you're basically worshiping them. You're relying on them for everything. Even if you take yourself out of it, look at the situation, and then have a conversation with God and be like, alright, kind of over this thing. Let's just start over. Let's just readjust this. Because I'm putting too much on them, and the person who ain't even getting all of the, you're putting too much on that person. They might get frustrated too. Yeah. Because them goodly constantly feel like they're inadequate and them can't provide and can't do anything. Because they realize you always let them down. And they just feel in themselves, say, you just feel depressed. They just be like, why is this not working? Why am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? And really and truly, it's not your job to fill certain holes where we have, because we have spaces in our heart and we have a yearning, because all we're created to worship. Right. So we already have space and the capacity to actually do that itself. So if we now worship God, we worship something else. Yeah. Fully. Yeah. That's why people, when Moses go up on the hill and come back, the man worship the cow. We might have left them for a second, fam. It's like, we have done.
We have to worship. They were all itching like we have to worship something.
Worship something, man.
No.
I have to get my fix, fam.
Yeah, go to here, oh God, pour here on. But yeah, that's true. So
yeah, I think, I think that's our final thoughts.
Be ready. Be in your word, in God first, and don't go out there looking for it either. God is going to bring it to you.
That's right.
I'm talking to the ladies. Because he that finds a wife finds a good thing. Let him find you here. Men, know the word before you go looking for your wife. Yep. That's it.
My final words for the men as well, I would say, man, don't worship the females, guys. Don't worship them. Love them for sure. Treat them good enough. Okay. Love them, take care of them, do everything as Christ. But just do not worship them as if they are God, because you will put yourself in problem.
And my final thought is just, you need to work on yourself first and foremost, because if you're not somebody where you want or where you love, I would expect somebody else to love you, because you need to be the person where you aspire to be. You need to be the person where you can actually live with, so somebody else can live with you. So if you actually don't know yourself and you don't fix up yourself first, where you gonna go out there and chill with the people and girl child, people and son? That makes no sense. So I guess just take some time, some introspection, just look at me, and take the time out to actually look at everything you need to work on and work on that. And as Bala said, God will show you the lids and be like, boss.
She doesn't.
See her then.
One true.
And then that would be that.
Yes.
So yes, thank you so very much for watching. I hope at least one person got something from this video. Then we've done our job.
Yes.
It's a very interesting video. We've been doing a whole series on relationships and stuff. Put some good comments in the comment section.
Questions, Bible verses, your own take on the video, any points we think or we said that you agree, that you don't agree with, keep it respectful. And just talk to it and we'll talk back.
Yeah, and big up Impact Video Ministries, I believe the guy who did this.
Yeah. Big up him.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Subscribe. Click the button.
Like
it and share with your friends.
Right now.
Blessings.
Blessings,